Welcome to Cox Connections, a link between you, our customers, and what's happening in the community we share. I'm Kim Stanley, Vice President of Operations for Cox Roanoke. For 15 years, the Western Virginia Land Trust has worked to preserve family farms, scenic views, wildlife habitat, and healthy watersheds. In that time, the organization has helped to permanently preserve more than 81,000 acres and 30 miles of streams in a 10-county area. Western Virginia Land Trust Executive Director Roger Hollenbach, as well as board member and field operations manager here at Cox Roanoke, Steve Waterman, are here to tell us how the program works. Thank you both for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So Roger, tell us a little bit about the Western Virginia Land Trust.
Well, we're a local nonprofit organization based in basically Roanoke and serve 10 counties surrounding it. Being a nonprofit organization, we get no support from the federal government or the state, but we are supported by our members and corporations like Cox who feel that we're providing important service to the community. We get support both by great board members like Steve and financial support because we have to keep the doors open so we can be out there talking about conservation easements, and how private landowners can preserve their property.
That's great. What is a conservation easement?
A conservation easement is a legal deeded agreement between a landowner and an appropriate entity that can hold a conservation easement, like the Nature Conservancy, our state land trust, the Virginia Outdoors Foundation, local private land trusts like the Western Virginia Land Trust. These entities, by law, under federal and state statutes, can hold an interest in property that restricts certain specific things on the property for that landowner who does the easement and future landowners who would in the future own the property, whether it be heirs or somebody that just purchases the property on the open market.
What type of property are you looking for? What type of land or property?
Well, in our region, typically a conservation easement is appropriate to a large tract of land, something of 75 acres or larger. 100 acres, 200 acres, 300, 400 acre farms are very typically come into conservation easements. We even have one that's 13,000 acres, Carvin's Cove, city of Roanoke property. That's our largest easement and was the largest easement in Virginia at the time that we recorded it. But an easement is just a private arrangement between two parties where one party has the right of enforcement of certain restrictions on the property, and it's typically the number of divisions, the number of homes. In case of riparian easements where we're really working to protect the watershed specifically, we'll have exclusionary buffers, so livestock have to be kept away from the streams to protect the community's water supply.
Okay.
I think the great thing about the easement is that the property owner still owns the property. They're not giving it up. They can sell it, they can give it to their heirs. So it's really a good thing for the landowner as well.
It sounds like it, so it just continues to protect the property, but still give the owner the rights to it.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah, and he can still farm it, timber it, use it for hunting, normal things that people use larger tracts of land for. It just isn't going to be a trailer park or a subdivision at any time in the future.
That's good. Steve, you're a member of the board, right?
I am.
What attracted you to this organization?
Well, their mission and protecting Western Virginia's natural resources really hit home for me. You know, as part of my duties here at Cox, I'm a member of the Cox Conserves Council, and making sure that we're good stewards of our community, whether we're looking at carbon reduction or whether we're looking at saving land, was a key for me in deciding to join the board.
That's great. That's really good. So how did you get involved? I mean, how did you, for other people, how did you find this and how did you go about getting involved?
Yeah, I became aware of it actually through one of my peers here at work, and they made me aware of the board, and I met with Roger at the time, and we discussed the opportunities that I might have on the board, and they had an opening at that particular point, and things just kind of fit right into place.
But even beyond board members, you are always looking for volunteers as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, we have a number of different things that we're doing on a regular basis that we can use volunteers. Probably our biggest function each year, we have to monitor our easements. We hold an interest in 37 easements where annually we are required by our own regulations and some standards. We were recently accredited by our National Association of Land Trusts, and one of those standards is we have to monitor those properties every year. So 37 times we go out, walk the property, take pictures, confirm that nothing inappropriate has been done on the property, have a conversation with the landowners if they're there, and then write a report, and then it goes in the file and part of that ongoing relationship with the landowner.
Okay.
So we have that. We also have office work. If we can have a volunteer that will come in and help us with paperwork.
Right.
That allows David, my coworker, and I to get out there and spend more time with landowners. That's always a tremendous help.
That is. That sounds like it. Well, in addition to protecting land, you also protect streams. You mentioned keeping livestock away, but what other things do you do to preserve streams?
Well, most conservation easements do have specific language in them. One of the rules of conservation easements, to briefly digress, is we can't have a resource on a property and not protect it. Mm-hmm. If there's habitat, rare and endangered species habitat, or there's a critical parkway viewshed, or there's a riparian asset like a beautiful flowing stream, these things have to be protected in the easement. So we work with a landowner and figure out a way that meets their needs as a landowner but still protects that resource. So some of them, they replant trees where the stream edge has been denuded, mm-hmm. where maybe it was just grassland and every time the rain comes up, the stream's banks erode. Well, we'll encourage them to take advantage of some of the federal and state monies that are out there to fence the streams and replant those forested buffers.
Great. How do people get in touch, Steve?
Well, we have our website, westernvirginialandtrust.org. And that's a great resource for folks to be able to learn more about the Land Trust. And that's a great opportunity for them to be able to see exactly what the Land Trust does.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention as well, Kim, that we have some other things that go on from the Land Trust standpoint, and we have our Fall Festival as well,
okay.
That folks are welcome to attend, and it's part fundraiser for the Land Trust as
and
well.
Just real quick, when is that
It's on
up?
September 18th.
Okay.
It will be at Braylock just outside of Vinton, next to the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Thank you both. Thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
All right. Up next on Cox Connections, summer vacation can send parents scurrying to find fun, safe activities for their children. We have a possible solution. Stay with us. That story after the break.